Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. How has your Ramadan been? I can't believe we're nearly at the very end of the month. We say this every year, but it does feel like it was only a couple of weeks we started, but now we're nearly at the very end. There's still a few days of the month left, and there's something important I thought I should share, which I only found out myself, and I want to benefit from that, and inshallah I hope you benefit from it too. I want you to benefit from this too, because we're all in this together. It's something that I feel like we all need to work on. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe before you leave today. I hope you will come back again some other time. Please click on the like button. This is so YouTube recommends this video to other people who are looking at similar content. As it is Ramadan, the main thing that people associate with the month is fasting of the stomach, reading the Qur'an, and practicing self-control. But I want to bring to you today that there are 3 levels of fasting. Reminding myself about it is just so it is a more conscious effort on my part, and hopefully on your part as well during this month. I hope to develop these attributes. I'd like to be able to say, after this year's Ramadan, these are some long-term good habits I've been able to continue in my life, and I hope that would be something some of you are aiming to do as well. There are 3 levels of fasting. We have the fasting of the stomach, fasting of the tongue, and fasting of the heart. Fasting of the stomach is what we all are doing. Every single one of us who is fasting in this month is definitely practicing fasting of the stomach. But for fasting of the stomach to not go to waste, we need to be able to add fasting of the tongue and fasting of the heart as well. So let me break this down to you. So fasting of the stomach, obviously that is abstinence from food and drink in within a restricted period in the day, which we are always doing. So not eating between sun up and sundown. Fasting of the tongue is a bit more tricky. It is something I've found myself consciously reminding myself to make sure I'm practicing. It isn't easy, but because I'm aware of it, I'm consciously practicing it. This is we're in the last 10 of Ramadan. Laylatul Qadr is within this last 10, and I pray that we all experience these nights in this year, and hopefully we get the benefits that's associated with the night of power. So what is fasting of the tongue? So things like minding the words that come out of our mouth, minding the things we say, minding the kind of utterances. So for example, if somebody has done something to annoy us, to watch what we say to that person. We don't want to say hurtful things back to them. And also, even while we're joking, throw a joke to somebody, maybe one of your close friends or your family member, and it's not a very nice thing. It's something that I'm having to work on. We shouldn't be using those kind of words, especially in this month, and hopefully it is something we can work on to keep in our lives forever. And another part of fasting of the tongue, which I've noticed that is really, really difficult. So if somebody says something to annoy you, to offend you, to upset you, we're very quick to want to respond to that person. So the best thing is to tell that person, I'm fasting, I can't take part, I don't want to be a part of this at the moment. Respect the fact that I'm fasting. And hopefully, usually it does work when we say that to that person, I'm fasting, and yes, they hold back and they don't say anything negative to you anymore. But in the instance you find that it doesn't work on this particular person, the best thing to do is just walk away. it can be difficult sometimes, when somebody is provoking you and you just want that, you feel the need to respond. It's very difficult to hold back. I would encourage us, because I'm having to restrain myself sometimes as well. Just remind myself, Joke, you're fasting. Bite your tongue, bite your tongue. So it's very important. It's all well and good seeking forgiveness from Allah or from whoever it is you've said something terrible to. But the fact is, words are like eggs. When they've dropped, you can't really put them back together anymore. When we're using our tongues to say those hurtful things, we could actually be spending that time in, praying and doing dhikr and, reading the Qur'an. There's lots of different things we can do in worship rather than engage in words that could be causing offense or hurt to somebody else. Remember to like this video while you're watching it. Fasting of the tongue, obviously, like I said before, it includes minding the kind of words we're using. We do not want to offend people, because sometimes even when we say things that are hurtful, maybe in jest, we think, oh, she understands, I'm only joking. Maybe at that point, that person is very vulnerable. Let's just be mindful and not use those kind of words. Yes, that is the second level of fasting. The final step of fasting is fasting of the heart. Now, these are maybe things like anger, resentment, jealousy, lots of different negative emotions like that. There are steps to help us overcome those kind of feelings in our hearts. I have a video, I'll link that video up for you to see, and it's something that we definitely need to work on, because it could be maybe resentment or anger towards ourselves. For example, oh, I wish this year I'd done more in my efforts this Ramadan, but I've disappointed myself. So yeah, disappointment is one of the things in our hearts that we need to work on as well. Or it could be, or you're angry at yourself for not applying for that job sooner and you've lost out on it, or maybe you're resenting yourself because XYZ, or even you could be angry at God. You could be resentful towards God for maybe things in your life that you feel are not blessings. There are step-by-step things you can do to help you understand that even in the negatives in your life, there are positives in it. So focusing more on the positive in our lives help us to work on that negatives in our lives. There are step-by-step things we can do to help us to overcome those feelings. Things like maybe meditation, praying, reflecting, journaling. There are lots of things to help us, because I know it's not just by praying that we are able to overcome these things, because when we compare ourselves to somebody else, there is definitely going to be the point where we would resent some aspects of our lives, or be angry at some aspects or even be angry at somebody for what they've done, or maybe you resent somebody for something they've said or done. But focusing on those things about maybe what somebody has done to offend you or angered you would deter you from spending time in worship. These last few days, there's not a lot of it left now before the end of Ramadan. These last few days, they should be filled with getting closer to God, making as much dhikr as we can, praying as much nafil we can, reading as much Qur'an as we can, even definitely reading the translation as well, because I have found reading the translation of those words in the Qur'an really, really helps me to feel the closeness and the love in those words from God to myself. So it's something I'll encourage us to do, not only to spend time reading the Qur'an, also spend time reading the translation, so that we can understand better the message that is being relayed to us. I really hope you have enjoyed this video today and it has made some sense to you. I hope you find value in it and you find it useful enough to share with somebody. I'd love to be able to grow my channel with your help. So please, if you're yet to subscribe, do so. And may God bless you for supporting me. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.